Welcome back to Align by Design, the podcast where we explore what it means to lead from soul, live in truth, and walk the path you were born to walk, no matter how far you've strayed or how heavy the journey has been. I'm Flavie, and today's episode is a conversation I've been holding close to my heart because sometimes you meet someone who reminds you what's possible, not through their perfection, not through polished words, but through their truth, their persistence, and their willingness to fight for their own freedom. And that's Lydia Magnoli. She's a mentor, a teacher, a healer, and a creator. Over 100,000 people following her journey today. But her story did not start here. This episode is for the women who've been through darkness, who has questioned if she would even make it out. It's for the one who looks like she's holding it all together, but inside is barely hanging on. Lydia's story is raw and real, from addiction and trauma to radical sobriety and self-leadership, from sleeping in a car to building a life of alignment, purpose, and service. And what she teaches us today is simple but profound. Healing is possible. Alignment is possible. And the life you're dreaming of, it's closer than you think. And it starts with one decision. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Let's go. So Lydia, welcome to Align by Design. And I'm truly honored, to have you here today with me because I know you since maybe now 2 years, and I followed a bit, your journey. And for me, what stands out the most is beyond the powerful content that you share. And each time I'm just amazed. So if you don't know, we will share more about it, but you are like a content creator, and it's all about your resilience, your persistence, your what I'm going to call your grounded presence, and the way, because you shared with me a bit your story, you've chosen to rise again and again and again, with so much heart. You're such a different person than the one you have been in some years ago. And before we dive in, would you just take a moment to introduce yourself? And it's beyond the bios, the numbers, who you are. It's just, who is Lydia today? Because I know there was a Lydia before, but who is the Lydia today in the season of your life?
Oh my gosh, Flavie, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here, number one, and thank you for that beautiful introduction. Who am I right now? Well, I'm grateful. That's who I am. I am a person who's just filled with gratitude, a woman filled with gratitude for the journey and all the lessons along the way. I get to live my dream on a daily basis, and back many, many years ago, I was living a nightmare. Like my life was a nightmare. And so to have that duality and to like come from that to where I am today, where I get to run my own business, I get to help women break out of self-destructive patterns, whether it's through weight loss or just lack of confidence, lack of strength, and help them build better habits. I am just excited every single day to get to do what I do, and super grateful that I have the opportunity to do that. So I'm a small business owner. I'm a content creator. I love that you shared that because that's a big chunk of what I do. I love creating content and using my creativity to convey a message that is really important, that's uplifting, that injects hope and enthusiasm in the lives of others, and women especially who may feel defeated or like change isn't possible. I always want to be that, example that yes, it is.
Yes, I love, because this is all about it. Like impossible can move to I am possible.
Yes.
And you are such an example of it. And to start, I would love if it's possible for you to bring us back, to the moment, because you said your life was sometime a nightmare. And what was the moment when everything shifted and changed it for you? What was the breaking point when you said, okay, now something need to change? Because it asks awareness to say, now I want to change. Most of the time people may stay stuck, in their thoughts, in their behaviors, in the patterns, but you had that moment of enlightenment in a sense. So can you just share with us what has
Yes.
been that breaking point?
Yes, and I have chills as you were sharing because I'm brought back to that moment, and I've had multiple moments that I could talk about, but I'm going to talk about the main
Mm.
one, which was I started drinking when I was 13, and I continued on a path of like self-destructive habits for about a decade
Mm.
until I was 24, and I had been playing out the same self-destruction, cycle over and over and over again. And I was one of those people that you're talking about that I was stuck. Like I couldn't break out of it. And I like to think, because I'm a spiritual person, that it was honestly like divine intervention that got me that day. But without going too deep into the details, I was in like a codependent, emotionally abusive relationship with someone. I felt super stuck. I couldn't leave. I just was in so much fear, shame, doubt, insecurity, low self-esteem. And he basically verbally said something to me that was super degrading, and I lost it. Like I just like lost my ability to control myself. I felt like I went at him, and I had this moment of like, who have I become? Like, what am I? And it was it was like a really hard moment, but today I see it as like the jumping off point to true transformation, because I knew that in that moment, like I never wanted to be or feel that way again. And so
Yeah.
I was willing to do the really hard thing of starting to change because the pain outweighed the pleasure of staying
Yeah.
stuck.
So your pain become your fuel to say, okay, now it
Yes,
needs to change.
yes,
And
yes,
and that's beautiful because sometimes people keep the pain and it's like,
yeah,
no, that's what I need. It's like I'm
yeah,
no one without the pain. And
yes,
what is so interesting, it's like you've been through a lot. You shared addiction, and it was
yes,
many different type of addiction, not just alcohol,
yes.
trauma, early darkness. And you shared
Mhm.
with me that, okay, you had some really dark ideas. And what was the decision? So you said you had that relationship, that word that your ex-boyfriend told
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
but when you have decided to say now this is just the stop of the relationship, what has been, the next decision is okay, now
yeah,
I need to change something else,
yes,
not just the relationship, but the addiction, the
yeah,
trauma, the
yeah,
negative thought, and when you shift from survival to
yeah.
transformation.
Yeah. You don't do it all at once.
No,
I
no,
didn't do it all at
the
once.
journey.
And to be honest, I wasn't in a place to even end the relationship. At that point, was like, I have to stop drinking.
Oh.
That was the thought pattern, because I was like, I will continue to go back to this person if I continue to drink. So I had
Mm,
this like little inkling of awareness that like my behaviors were contributing to the chaos of my life.
yes.
And that little bit of awareness grew and grew and continues to grow. And awareness is really the first step in any type of transformation. So that beginning of just me
Yeah.
being aware of like, if I don't stop drinking, I'm going to continue to go back to this person because
Yes.
that was the pattern, right?
Yes.
So I stopped drinking the next day after that. And I haven't drank in over 21 years, but I didn't know that was going to happen. I was just like, I just don't want to feel this way anymore. I need to stop drinking so I don't go back to this person. Right. And so I just started to string one day and then another day and then another day. And like a week went by and I didn't call him because I wasn't drinking, So it's like,
Yeah.
and that's what I teach my clients is like, you're not going to go from,
A
really
full
overweight to
transformation.
super fit in a
Yeah.
week. It's a gradual shift
Yeah.
in
Baby
one
step.
little, yeah, habit at a time.
Yeah. Not baby step. But it's so beautiful because sometimes, and that's a great reminder to say, transformation doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And it's like the first things, and I love that to share, it's awareness, then it's consciousness, then
Yes.
comes the decision, and after it's a commitment. Because many people gonna say, okay, I'm aware of the problem, I'm aware of the pattern, but they don't decide to do something. And when they decide, sometimes they don't commit. So yes, I make the decision to stop drinking. Do
Yeah.
they do it? No. And for me, you had the strength and the persistence to say, I'm aware, I decide, and I commit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so beautiful. And I know that so many people, and for me, you are the example of persistence and discipline, that so many people want to change. And because you are helping many women to also transform their body
Mm-hmm.
when they have weight issues and so on. But especially on that topic, few stays the course. It's like, it's so easy to quit. And you didn't. you never quit, if I may say. You never quit the
I don't
run, you
quit.
never quit the show. So, what kept you, committed? Because I know, and I'm part of it, sometimes it's like when life is happening, it's so easy to quit. So,
Mhm,
what made you persist, be disciplined, and, stay committed
mhm.
when you could have given up so many times?
Yeah. I love this question, and I wish there was like a really short, concise answer. I think this is personally what I think is like it just was over such a long period of time that I started to see the benefits of being very regimented and having certain rituals. So I saw that like not drinking each day was like improving my energy, right? And it was improving my life in such a profound way. Then, like 3 years later, I quit smoking because I was like, I want to get healthier. So it was like just a
Wow.
gradual. I didn't overnight become disciplined. Like I was very, and there's still areas of my life where I have a little bit of like, I want to procrastinate a little bit. I'm not like a sergeant. However, I will definitely admit that today, now many years later, over 2 decades later, like my level of discipline is really high. I started where I couldn't even string one day without drinking. Do you know what I'm saying? So like when people are like, "Oh, you're so disciplined. I wish I was disciplined like you." I came from being totally undisciplined. So it's a skill. I really teach that and I believe that because I trained myself to be disciplined by
Yeah.
just committing and keeping the small promises to myself.
Mm.
And then the actual, you get this positive reinforcement. So that I became addicted to that. I mean, I really did. Like I start to feel better when
Yes.
I follow through on my commitments. And
Yeah.
the reverse is also true. I start to feel worse if I don't follow
Mm.
through, right? And
Yes.
so I don't want to feel the negative consequences. I done with that. I did
Yes.
that for a long time. I want to feel good. So I continue to keep the promises that I make to myself. So and it's a muscle. I work it. It's discipline is a muscle. It's a skill. It's a strength. It's
Yeah.
something you have to consistently train for. So,
But I love how, discipline most of the time can be seen as something maybe not negative, but with not
mm,
such a positive,
yeah.
energy. And I love the way how each time, no, discipline is like it's something positive that can contribute to so many good things that you shift, in a sense, the energy. And I love what you shared that you regimented and you create rituals, to
Mhm.
have like those moments in your day, in your life where it's like, no, I need to keep it and having rituals. So things which are aligned with you. It's not like someone give you something to follow. You made what was right for you.
Yes.
And I love what you shared. I made a promise to myself. So it's like
Mhm.
the only person you can betray, it's yourself.
Yep.
It's not about not anyone else. It's not a power that you are giving to other, but it's for me like bringing your power back to you.
Yes. Oh my God, you're speaking my language. Yes. And that is exactly why I choose to be
Yeah.
disciplined, is because it's like a way of honoring myself and it's
Mm.
freedom. To me,
Mm.
it's freedom. When I am undisciplined, there have been times where I was super undisciplined with relationships, let's say,
Mm.
like it just really like not adhering to the alignment that I wanted to
Yes.
feel with the people I was interacting with. And I felt awful. But I couldn't stop going back to these people. And like, freedom, the
Yeah.
freedom to have space in my mind that's not occupied by toxic people or toxic cravings for sugar, let's say. I mean, I had all the addictions, so we can go through that, like every single one. The only one I didn't have was gambling. It was the only one. I
I
was
need
never a
to find a
gambler.
solution for the chocolate. I still didn't find it. I stayed for 3 years without chocolate. And
Yeah.
one day I cried and it was
Yeah.
over. But I love what you shared that your body knows. And
Yeah.
it's true with everything. And
Yes.
when you start eating healthy, and the day you are eating crop fruit,
Hmm.
crop food, your body knows. And you kind of sometimes get sick or it's hard
Yeah.
to digest. And
Yes.
it's so beautiful that it's not just related to food, it's related that you can have it to your thought, you can have it to the relationship, you can
Yep.
have it to everything. And when you start to, in a way, discipline your life and feel aligned in so many areas, when something is misaligned, you feel it.
You
You
get
know
it.
it.
You're nailing it. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. That's exactly it. And I'm so clear in what I need in order to feel aligned that I'm not even tempted by it. I
Mm,
have clients sometimes ask me, they're like, do you have a cheat day? Do you do this? I'm like, it
yeah.
doesn't even cross my mind because I feel so
Yeah.
good
So good.
living in alignment with how I want to feel that I don't want to stray from it. So that's how I live today. So
But let's be honest, you radiate joy.
thank you.
And when
I
we
hope
see you,
so.
you are so passionate also about what you are doing. And
Yes.
your story each time are so powerful when you share what happened to you, where you are coming from, where you are today. And it's like you're not just doing the work, it's like you enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it has not been a straight line journey.
No.
And so today, what would you say to someone maybe you find hard to cultivate discipline, especially in the early days? What would you say to them?
That's a great question because, in the early days is when it really counts
Mm,
because it's very easy to slip when you're there, right? Because you're so vulnerable. So for me, I would have never been able to get over that first, hump of like a year without, let's say, drinking or that first couple months of quitting smoking without support from
mm,
like-minded people.
mm.
So that your network is very important. That's why I cultivate mine today to really be around people that inspire me, that bring, positive energy into my sphere. I don't want to have, detractors and negativity in my life. So I try to really audit that. And in the beginning, if you're someone who's trying to eliminate a negative pattern or habit, get around people who are living a life that
Yes.
you're inspired by and that have already done that. So I had mentors and coaches and just women in my life that, I was only 24 and they kind of took me under their wing. And I had one mentor in particular, she was like in her 40s, which like I thought was so old then, like not today. And she, taught me a lot about how to respect yourself, how to treat yourself with love and kindness. I had another mentor who taught me about self-compassion. And,
Mm,
my healing journey has been a path of allowing those people in and being a student of them. I consider myself a student and a teacher, like at all times. Like I'm always willing to learn and then I want to share what I learn.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So getting around people that have your best interest in mind, people that support your desire to change is priceless if you're trying to change a habit. That's why I do coaching and that's
Yeah.
why I do that because I know that women are going to need that. It's very hard to change those things completely isolated on your own.
Yeah. Yes. And I love it because having the right network, the right community is not easy. And
Hmm.
sometimes it comes to the cost of leaving some friendship,
Yes.
relationship. And it's like,
Yes.
ah, it's hard to quit, in a sense. What was your life before? And I think that it's true in all the area of your life, and especially in business. And I know that in US, you are so much more open and positive than we are in France. And having
Really?
the right people telling you, I believe in you, you can do it, it's priceless because
Mhm.
in France, you need to have, a 9 to 5 job. And if you don't, it's like you're crazy. And you will hear so many people telling you, it will not work. Who might buy it from you? Who are you to do this? It's like your life experience is not counting. While for me, I truly believe it does.
Yeah.
And when you are surrounded by the like-minded people who are going to believe in you, as you shared, who have done the past already and can show you the way, you are saving time. Sometimes you're saving money because it's like
Yeah.
you've got the
Right.
map, you really have the map. And I love what you shared because also it's something that it's not teach at all is self-compassion. We don't
Yeah.
teach you at school or
Mm.
even as a parent. Sometimes you're so busy with so many things that we don't teach to our kids to self-compassion. And another thing, gratitude. If I'm completely honest, it's something I discovered 3 years ago. I didn't know what
Wow.
gratitude was.
Wow.
Because for me, gratitude is like just saying thank you. And it's something that I never even heard the word before. I was, okay, yeah, grateful, fine. But
Yeah.
the true meaning for me, I would even say it's a magical meaning of gratitude.
Yeah.
It's something so really magic. The first time I
Mhm.
really tap into gratitude, I ended in tears. Let me
Yeah.
be honest. Because
Yeah.
it's that feeling that your heart is
Yeah.
so full of love, of light, of everything that you're like just the oneness, if I may say.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm full with everything that I have. I don't need more. I don't want more. It's like I have everything that I
Yeah.
need. And this feeling of gratitude is so important today. And I think it's a beautiful reminder to say, even your past, and I'm sure that you can confirm, even you had a messy, a dark
Mhm.
past, whatever you
Yeah.
lived, sometime you may end grateful because
Oh,
this
yeah.
is what allowed you to become the person you are today.
Absolutely. 1,000%. It's one of the reasons why I'm so joyful, actually. Like, I share this all the time. It's like, I feel like people that have undergone such suffering, especially in their youth, like for
Yes.
me, I was suicidal at the age of 8. Like, I attempted suicide for the first time when I was 16, 15, was hospitalized for an eating disorder, had a lot of, mental health issues. And today as an adult looking back at that, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not sad because of it. I am like, oh, that was my assignment back then. I
Mm,
believe it was like my spiritual curriculum to
yes.
learn the things that I needed to learn, so now I can be a teacher, a guide, a sense
Yes.
of, oh, if she can do it, I can do it,
Yes.
right? And that's always my message. So I'm so grateful for my past. It
Yeah.
has become my best asset because I'm able to meet women today where they are, and I can vouch, like, I know the suffering. I'm not just like, I didn't read it out of a textbook.
Yes.
And I do
You
have a
lived it.
master's degree in education. I have the training, too, the academic training, but I have the life training.
Life training.
And that really, like, it turns my heart to theirs in a whole nother level, like where they can connect soul to soul, heart to heart, as opposed to like, I'm the professional and they're,
Yeah.
so.
No, but we can feel that really it's from your life experience that you are
Yeah.
doing it. And if today you had to talk to this 14, 15 years old Lydia, what would you say to
Mm.
her today?
Oh God, what a question. Thank you for asking this. No one's ever asked me this before. I do a lot of inner child work. And that's been part of my healing journey. And just in the past 5 years, I've really gone into that because I had a traumatic childhood. And so a lot of the behaviors that I acquired over the years that were self-destructive were actually rooted in having trauma in my childhood. So as part of my healing, I do a lot of inner child work, but I haven't done a lot with the teenager me. And
Mm.
I think that's like the next layer that I need to do because she was very, looking back, like hard to love.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, like you have this like compassion for like, oh, I was this little cute kid and like I just didn't know, that I was lovable. But then at 14, 15, 16, like I was drama, I was teenage angst. I sometimes just have such gratitude for my mom because my mom was around my age when she was driving me to hospitals and getting therapy for me and trying to help me. And I look back and I'm like, how did she do that? Because that's like a
Because she
lot,
love you.
Yeah, she loved me. I know. And I love her today, like on a whole nother level, because I can appreciate everything
Yeah.
that she did for me. But I think I don't even know that I would have words. I would just try to hug her
Yeah.
because I think that's what she just needed. Like, I try to be the, what's the word? Like that safe adult that I didn't have back then. Like my mom did the best that she could, but she was limited. I'm one of 7.
Yeah.
So my mom had a lot going on. Like,
Yeah.
I really needed that like deep connection with an adult who was stable. And I feel like I'm that today. So I would want to be that for my 14-year-old self. Do you know what I'm saying? And just like
Yes.
hug her and just let her cry if she needed to and just hold space for her,
Yes.
really hold space.
Without words. No
Yeah,
words
without words,
needed.
even without
Yes.
words, hold space. I
Oh.
think I think she needed that more than anything.
Yeah. And I love, because it's like the images that I'm seeing, it's like I reject you, like the teenage is like, no, I
Yeah.
don't want a hug, I
Yeah.
reject you. But
Yeah.
internally I'm craving.
Yes.
I'm craving for that hug. And it's like
Yeah.
something after is breaking inside and say, I can be loved. It's like I'm rejecting love, but I'm craving for love. That's
Yes.
really what I'm feeling.
Yes. I was doing that. That was my whole childhood was like that.
Mm.
Um, So yeah, I love that question though. Thank you for
My
asking
pleasure.
it.
And so today, when we see you where you were and all those hard work and hard things that happened to you, today you say you know that you are living in alignment. And
Mhm.
what does it mean for someone to say, okay, I'm seeking this alignment. I'm feeling that I'm missing something, but I don't know what. And most of the time it's, how can I know? Because
Mm,
so many times we just imagine what could be the result. But
yeah.
when we get it, it's like, no, I don't feel anything or I don't know. So what would be for you the meaning of alignment and how do you know that it's here?
I love this question. For me, alignment is everything right now. I live my life in a way like, am I in alignment? And so going back to like the spirituality piece, like I'm a spiritual person. And what does that mean? That means like I take time to pray and meditate and I live in alignment with spiritual principles, meaning like I want to be useful. I want to be of service, right? So I get quiet throughout my day. I don't do things impulsively. I like to consult with my, higher power,
Right.
God,
Yes.
whatever like word. The word to me is kind of irrelevant.
Yes.
It's more of just like an inner knowing.
Yes.
And because I've had so much time away from, substances and toxic relationships and just all the behaviors that block that
Yes.
connection, because I have that clarity and the healing that has taken place, I'm much more apt to receive
Mm.
messages. Do you know what I'm saying? So like I
Yes.
have this little prayer that I say, like, God, please speak to me and through me. I said it
Mm.
before this interview because
Yeah.
I want my words to come from that place of like service, right? Of like, how can this help someone else? And a lot of times it's more of just like being an open channel and
Mm.
allowing, whatever the message is supposed to be to come.
Yes.
Um, and so the things that start to happen when I'm not in alignment, because I have this awareness today. Now, if you would have asked
Yes.
me this question 10 years ago, I didn't have this awareness yet. I still had a lot more healing to do. And I'm not saying I'm totally healed and I'm perfect now. No, there's always more. But I've uncovered a deeper level now where I truly feel in alignment, like I'm living
Yeah.
what I'm supposed to be doing
Yeah.
on a day-to-day basis right now. Like I really feel it. 10 years ago when I was working I was a school psychologist. I was working full time. I was teaching fitness on the side. I had a taste of like, oh, this feels really good when I'm in fitness and I have felt this joy. But in my mind, I was like, I have to do what society says. I need
Yes.
this real job. Like you were just saying about the 9 to 5, right? Like I can't give up this
Yes.
job. And so my body started to react. Like
Yeah.
my low back would go out. I had a whole bunch of weight that I gained. Like there were things that started to manifest in my body that were showing me that I was out of alignment, but I wasn't fully, aware of that yet. And so today I'm just a lot more aware of when something's off with me. Um, and that's a gift. That's an absolute gift. And I protect my alignment very, very carefully. So I won't even do like things that are asked of me. Like I'm a content creator. So sometimes I'll get an opportunity or something and I
Yeah.
kind of sit with it. And if it doesn't feel like in alignment with who I want to be or
Yes.
what I'm like, I don't do it because
Mm.
alignment is so important to me. It's everything. It's everything.
I love it. And if I may, in a sense, summarize what came to me is you are intentional about
Yes.
what you are
I
doing.
love that word.
It's
Yeah.
all about intention. Is it aligned with me or not? Am I intentional and is it working in my sense and what I want to create? And so many times, and I love because for me it's a reminder for everybody who's listening to us. It's like we act by reaction, not by intention.
Mm,
And when you are doing this, and I love what you share, it's like when you are acting from an intention, when you are intentional, I'm going to say to
yeah.
say, you're working from your divine space
Yes.
because you are intentional. But if you are just in the reaction mode, it's like, okay, you are from your mindset, your mind and not your higher self. So I
Yes.
love what you just shared about this and how when you are not in alignment and you call your body is reacting, but it's also all those feelings, all those reactions that you can have. And when you said my lower back, it was
Yeah.
okay. Most of the time, it can be related to the financial side. It's like,
Yes.
if I'm
Yes.
leaving my 9 to 5 job, will I be
Yes.
safe
Yes.
financially?
Oh,
When
yes.
the upper back. It's like, oh, I'm wearing so much in my life that my
Yes.
upper back is so painful. So your body is giving you signs, and we are coming back to the awareness. It's being aware of what is happening, not just around me, but in me. That my
Yes.
body is talking to me, and
Yes.
it's so important to listen to it because, and I love the fact that you were like the good girl. I need to work in the school because this is what the norm, the society is asking for it. But your body is talking to you, and we don't take time to listen to it. And
Mhm.
after, when we don't, it's getting worse and worse and worse. So in spirituality, we say we have several bodies, and when it's coming to your physical body, it's because you didn't listen. Your intuition was already talking to you, like
Yeah.
it's not aligned, it's not for
Yeah.
you, it's not good. Yes, I know, you
La,
know. You don't
la.
listen. So it's so important. And these
Yeah.
come with the last things that you shared, which are boundaries. And I know
Mm.
that for women, boundaries, it's hard. It's hard when
Yes.
you're a mom, it's hard when you're a wife, it's hard when you're a friend, and it's hard even in your business. How many times
Mhm.
sometimes you have your clients abusing a bit of your time, of your space, and so on. And
Yes.
it's also an amazing reminder to say, you have the power. You are the one setting the boundaries and making other apply. And that goes so well with my next question that I had with a
Yeah.
good girl. It's like, you shared that you used to outsource your happiness and
Mhm.
follow like the good girl. And
Yeah.
I think I did like 2 or 3 episodes before, just an episode about the good girl path.
Yeah.
And how, what helped you, to reclaim your truth, to reclaim your,
Mm.
in a sense, your territory and your power. And finally say, no, I will stop listening to what others are telling me. I'm going to quit my job. I'm
Yeah.
going to go on my business, and I will just redefine success on my terms. And success is not always just on a financial point of
Yeah.
view. It's so much more. And I'm sure that for you, finance was like the cherry on the cake,
Mm.
but the true success was something different for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, you said so many great things. I don't even know what was the question. Where do you want me to go with this?
So
I'm
the
loving this
question
conversation.
was,
I
what
love this
helped you,
conversation.
to reclaim your own truth and finally said, I'm quitting, the standard life, and
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah, redefining
Okay.
success on my term.
I got it. And I love what you said about success on your own terms because I truly believe that because
Yes.
I pay attention. I'm very observant. Well, another gift of being sober and having clarity is I see people and
Mm.
I observe. And I have seen and known many people who busy themselves with all the society's, demands, let's say,
Yes.
of this is what you need to do, get married, get have kids, have a house, have a car, like work, 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 and then
Yes.
you're going to be happy. And I would
One,
observe these
one day,
people.
one day maybe.
I would observe these people, and all they did was complain about all the things that are supposed to make them happy. So at this point, I was in my late 30s. I was working at a school, and I wasn't married yet. And I was like, "What am I doing with my life? Like like a nobody. I'm a loser." I literally would say these
Yeah.
things to myself
Uh-huh.
because that was the good
Core.
girl. Like, this is what you do. It's the
Yeah.
checklist, right?
Yes,
Like, this
that's
is
the
the
checklist
checklist.
of
But
success.
then something wasn't making sense because I listened to the people who worked in that school, the teachers, the principal, like everybody. They were making good money. They had a wife, they had a husband, whatever, kids, and all they did was complain. They
Yeah.
complained about their life. And so I was like, but that's not the road to happiness then, because like they have all the things that I'm being told you're supposed to get, and yet they're not happy. And at the same time, and I really feel like this was divinely inspired for me, at the same time, I was going and teaching fitness, like as a part-time, side hustle, and I would feel alive and energized by that, environment. And I like that felt really good to my soul. So then I had this duality of like, I'm going and I'm doing what society wants me to do. And then I'm going and doing this other thing that people say is never going to pay my bills, but it's bringing me joy. And
Yes.
so I had this like teeter totter of like, well, what really is success? And how do
Uh,
I want to spend my time? Right.
yes.
And so I made the unpopular decision to follow my bliss and to follow the thing that energized me, and where I kind of sort of hoped that I could somehow pay my rent and do it, like I did not anticipate the level of financial freedom that I would have today. Never in my mind. I just wanted to do what I loved and, have food.
Yes,
Like,
basic, basic.
that was it. I had a very like limited view of what was possible, but I knew that I didn't want to waste away my years. I was so grateful to be alive because I'd gone through all that, misery and suicide attempts and sobriety. And I had gone so far. I was like 38 at this point, and I was like, I don't want to spend the next, because people retire at what, 65 in a school,
Yes,
the next 30 something years just waiting for retirement
retirement.
and wishing my life away. I wanted to fill the day with things that I love to do. And so I had the energy. I wasn't married, which turned out to be a really good thing because then I didn't have anybody to answer to. I had the freedom to step into this really risky financial decision, which was I'm going to, abandon this stable job. I was tenured. I had a salary. I had health insurance. I had all the things that keep people stuck in maybe a job they don't want to be at. And I was like, I'm going to teach fitness full time. And I was very excited about it. And then quickly, like you said, it wasn't a straight line. Like I fell apart financially. Like I really did. I mean, I didn't have money for food at times. The store everybody knows, like I was living out of my car for like 3 weeks, like staying at a Holiday Inn, trying to film YouTube videos to make a channel work. I had like 33 subscribers at that point or something. It was like, but I had this like grit and I felt alive because I was living in alignment. Even back then, I was living in alignment with who I wanted to be. And I felt like I was being useful, even to the 33 people that subscribed. Does that make sense? Like I was excited about that. So, though that's really the path. Like that's when I kind of gave up on living life the way society
Wow.
demanded it. Yeah, because I saw like, well, those people were living that way, but they weren't happy, and I was one of the happiest people I knew, like
Yes.
because I was doing what I loved and I felt useful. Now, did I have the finances, and all of that squared away? No, I didn't.
Yes.
That's been a learning
Yeah.
learning experience.
But I love what you shared that what was the difference was that feeling of aliveness. That
Yes.
so many people, as you said, are in the 9 to 5 job. They're ticking all the boxes. They're
Yeah.
unfulfilled. They don't feel alive. Something is missing in their life, but they may have that calling for something different, but they don't often dare to do it because it's scary, because
Yeah.
it can be financially dangerous, or it can be something. But I remember when my husband told me that sentence, and I don't know the translation because we have a play game with the word in French, but do you have to earn your life to pay your life? Meaning that do you have to earn money all your life to pay your health by the
Yeah.
end of your life. Sorry,
Yes.
to pay your health by the end of your life. Like you arrive at this is literally what happened to my mom. She worked 42 years, and the last year before going to retirement, she had a burnout that
Okay.
almost killed her.
Yeah.
And for me, it has been wow, is it
Yeah.
what I want? Is
Yeah.
it really what I want?
Yeah.
But that comes to me with another question because you said that you decided to take the leap of faith in a
Yeah.
sense and say, okay, I'm going all into my business. And did you felt that you left a cage, the
Mhm.
one when you were in your 9 to 5
Yeah.
job, and after when you had that moment, where you had nothing left, no money, you were sleeping in your car, that
Yeah.
finally you ended in another cage where you were like,
Mm.
a kind of, I don't know, prisoner. It's okay, I put all my effort, my hope in something, and now it's like I need to maybe assault in a way and do things which are maybe less in alignment, but I want to keep believing that I can do it. Did you had a moment of doubt, and what made you
Oh yeah.
persist despite because this is something that happened to so many
Yeah.
new entrepreneurs that
Oh
phase.
yeah. I mean, and I look back now in those days, and it's a gift because now I have this grit or this reference of like, I got through that. I
Yeah.
can go through a dip in my profit, in my business. Like I got through
Yeah.
that. Like it gives me this sense of inner strength that like I don't doubt myself today. Like I know I can go through hard things. Glennon Doyle has that saying like we can do hard things. Like we can do hard things. I believe that today. And so yeah, I had many moments of doubt. I had many moments of doubt. And when I was staying at the Holiday Inns, and I had all my stuff packed up in my car, and like I'm trying to build this YouTube channel. This is 2018. We were like 2 years before 2020, which is
Yeah.
when I actually started to build a business because we were in quarantine. So like
Yes.
I had a whole stretch of time where like I was sleeping on an aero bed for 6 months and I live in a beautiful 2 bedroom now. I was living in a little 1 bedroom apartment with an aero bed on the floor, could barely pay rent, was teaching a bunch of fitness classes at a corporate gym. I was still building online a little bit. I'd post here and there and trying to build
Yeah.
a following, but I was not a content creator. I wasn't monetizing anything
Yes.
on content. And I look back at those times and I was putting in the reps because yes, I did believe that my message was powerful and that I was helping people, even on a small scale. I'd get like a message like from an old client who took my class and now she bought a video. I remember like selling a video for like $15 through PayPal. And it was like the first time I made money online. And I was like, oh my God, this could be like a business. It
Yes.
was like this beautiful awakening. And yeah, but it was I mean, it's been a long time since then. 2018 is when I was like really at the bottom of the bottom, like financially. And I've slowly come out of it to build like a successful business.
Mm. But I love, how you shared that your story, and I love because you never deleted your old video, and you often
Yeah.
show,
They're there.
very certain. And it reminds me, it's the first time I saw, I think it was, um, what's her name? We had Marie Forleo and Amy.
Oh, I love Marie Forleo.
Yeah, and
Amy
Amy
who?
Butterfield showed also the
Okay.
first video when
Yeah.
she shoot with her
Yeah.
husband,
Oh yeah.
and it was like, that's how I started. Just to say
Yeah.
that it's not perfect from day one, and it's like building over time.
Yes.
And I love because you said that now we are like 18 to 25. It's like 7 years later,
Yeah.
you have people all around the globe, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
have followers of over 100,000 followers
Yeah.
on Instagram. How many on YouTube?
YouTube is now like 172K. I know it's wild to me. It's
It's well,
wild to me. And I get messages from women. Just had a client in Germany who was doing I do like a 3-week challenge. I've had clients in all Greece and like all over the places I've
so
never
beautiful.
even been to,
Yeah,
and they find me on YouTube. Like it's a global community now. And I
yeah,
couldn't be more, that's why I opened this with like, who am I? I'm grateful.
yes,
That's who I am. Like
yeah,
great gratitude is like in my veins because I'm living a life today that I can't even believe is possible,
yeah.
you know?
But this is what I found so beautiful. It's that you persist, and today you can help so many women all around the globe. And you shared that your voice matters, and that
Yeah.
your story also could be that fuel finally. And instead of making it a blame or a burden, you have decided to make it a strength. And when did you realize that your story and your voice were finally part of your purpose?
Mm, I love this. Um, because you know what? The fitness industry is saturated. It really is. So like
Right?
people would ask me sometimes, like, how are you going to stand out? Like there's so many fitness people, especially in 2020, like when
Yeah.
everybody was teaching online. And I was like, yeah, but I have something that nobody has my story. Like there are people that come from awful backgrounds and, the hero's journey and all of that. Many people have that. I'm not unique in that way, but like my story with like addiction and mental health and then like quitting a school job to go into
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, like there's so many layers to my story that I started to share it and women were inspired. I started to get this feedback that they were inspired and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is not just about fitness. I truly believe fitness is the vehicle for me to
Yes.
share a bigger message. And my
Yeah.
message is one of hope, of resiliency, of all the things we talked about, persistence, like what's possible if you
Yes.
just persist and you don't give up on what you truly believe you're meant for, like, which
Yes.
again goes into alignment, right?
Yeah.
I'm not fighting for somebody else's dream. I'm not pushing this hard to become something that society's telling me to do,
Yeah.
right? That's
It's for
not what
you.
this is about. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love this reminder because sometimes we can think that I'm doing for others, which can
Yeah.
be the society or can be our parents, our partners, or someone, we say, I need to prove something. But
Yeah.
you just demonstrate that you do it for you. The
Yeah.
most
I do.
important person on earth, which is you. So, it's like you do things for you, not for satisfy anybody else. And
Yeah.
so many times we give back these powers to so
Yes.
many people.
Yes.
And this is such a good reminder to say when you fight for things, and you would not, I'm sure that if it would have been for someone else, maybe you would not have been that persistent. You would
Mm.
not have been that disciplined. But because it was your meaning, your purpose, your life, you have decided to fight for it and not for someone else.
Yes. You're going to make me cry. That's so beautiful. Yeah. And it goes back to the spirituality piece.
Mm.
Because there's a quote, I forget who said it, but it's like your gift is God's gift to you, and then how you use it is your gift back to God. And
Yeah.
I'm butchering it a little bit, but that's the message. So like, I'm so grateful to the
Mm.
universe, to spirit, to whoever like got me out of that clutches of addiction and that misery, that I will spend the rest of my life being the voice of hope and like, not staying a victim. Because
Mm.
it was very easy for me to stay a victim. I had a bunch of,
Yes,
not
of
so
course.
good things happen, right? Like poor me, poor me. And where that would take me is just to, like by myself spiraling downward into negative habits. And
Yeah.
a lot of people live in a victim mindset. And I used to be there. So I empathize, but I also don't, let my clients sit there, because
Yeah.
the way out of that is to empower yourself and to start taking gradual steps towards healthier habits. Because once you start to take control of your health, you feel better. You feel
Yes.
better about yourself, and that becomes addictive. And then you want more of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hope
No,
I
and
answered your
I
question.
love because it's like you just shared that your past does not define your future,
Yeah,
and you didn't let your story defining you neither.
yeah,
And you say, no, I can change. I'm the author, so I
yeah,
can close a chapter
yep,
or write a new tome. It's like I'm the one who really decide. And for me, this is what I'm calling freedom. Because so many people
yes,
think that freedom it's like financial abundance or traveling all around the world. And you're not that kind of people. And for me, when I
yeah,
hear you, you're free. You're free in
yes,
your mind. You're free in what you are doing. You're free in your
yeah,
job. You're free in everything. So we see people today being a bit influenced to say when you become an entrepreneur, you are becoming free and you're going
mm,
to look to freedom. And most of the time, you see them when they start to earn a bit of money, living to Dubai. That
yeah,
says they don't pay taxes,
yeah,
and today, it's like you have ticked a lot of boxes where
yeah,
you have the business you love, you built on
yeah,
service, you are spiritually aligned, you are
yes,
in alignment, you are creating impact. It's like you have everything and you are happy and you feel
yeah,
alive. And for me,
yeah.
this is a true meaning of freedom to me. But I would love to have your perspective on this.
Oh my God, I agree with you 1,000%. And that's why I'm not one of those entrepreneurs like, yes, I want to scale and I want to
Yeah.
grow, but not at the cost
Mm.
of my sanity, of my inner
Thank you.
peace. Like for me, I'm there, and that comes from self-awareness. Like I know what I value today. So my definition of success is having a business that I love, that I feel inspired and energized by, not that is like a ball and chain around my ankle, keeping me like, stuck chained to
Yeah.
a desk, or constantly worried if the haters are gonna like comment on my videos. Like I create in such a way that like I put out there what I feel energetically like pulled and
Fine.
inspired to do, and then I leave it. And it's like how it's received is how it's received. I
Yeah.
protect my peace. I choose to work with clients who I feel like I can actually serve and help. It's not about like just trying to serve as many people as possible and giving them like a halfway, coaching experience. So I'm going back to the word intentional. I'm very
Yes.
intentional about how I operate. I also hired my mom and my younger sister as part of my business, and a trusted friend that I've known for years. And I want to keep it that way. Like, I don't want to have a ton of employees. Like, that's not the business that actually inspires me right
Yes.
now. And that may be, contrary to how other entrepreneurs want to
Mm.
grow. But for me, I want to help my family. I want to be around people that I feel, I trust deeply, and that we build it together. And it's this like beautiful thing. And freedom of time is very important to me too. So I have the freedom right now where I can go, like I'm going to Utah, in the beginning of June, and I can do that because I set up my business that way. Like I don't have to, be working around the clock anymore. And that's a gift.
Yeah.
Like that's, to me, is true success. So yeah.
No, I love, and Okay, yeah, and I, I know that it was, what did I wrote? Yeah, it's like when you said how people, you sent out what feel aligned, energetically good for you,
Yeah.
and people gonna receive it their way. Again, for me, when I hear that, it's I'm doing what is aligned for me. If people don't take it the right way, it's their responsibility,
Yes.
not mine.
Yes.
And for me, it's such a powerful way to empower yourself and say, I will not bother myself with other opinion,
Yes.
or others' opinion. And
Yes.
so many people, especially when you start online and you start on social media, you put so much concerns on what others might say or think.
Yeah.
Well, if you do it from a place of heart and you know that it's aligned to you, the response is not your responsibility.
I love
and
that.
and I
Response
and
is
I
not your
love
responsibility.
that you shared this, and you shared another thing. It's I want a business that inspire me. And so the question, I want
Yeah.
also to send back to the audience, it's what inspire you,
Mm.
not the society, not your coach, because so many times I saw coaches, and even it happened to me, saying, this is what you have to do. This is what you need to follow. But what if it's not aligned for me? What if
Yes.
it's not inspiring me? I'm not doing something, as you said, not to be aligned, not to be fulfilled, not to be happy. It's
Yeah.
like never forget that it's about you, and
Yeah.
not in a selfish or egotic way. It's like it's
Yeah.
your business, your rules. And you
Yeah.
are the one,
Yeah.
in command. So don't
Yeah.
let anyone else define what scaling is. And if you are not meant, and because this is not what is inspiring you, to scale to, I don't know, 10 million and have
Yeah.
thousand of employees,
Yeah.
that's okay,
Yeah.
and it's feeling again the alignment and have the intention to say, no, that's not for me. Thank you, but I
Mhm.
won't do it.
Yeah.
So,
I love everything you're sharing. And even with social media, my business, I'm a content creator, so I monetize my platforms. And in the beginning, back in 2022, when I was just coming up and getting, a lot of viral videos on TikTok and YouTube started growing, I was on my phone all the time. And
mm,
it was like unhealthy at that point, but
yes.
it was like necessary because it was like this, I was building and I was building off the momentum. And now I've reached a point where, and this is like, because I'm always shifting and growing, what's more important? Like, do I want to keep putting that level so that I can scale to like 1 million subscribers on YouTube? Honestly, no. And that doesn't mean that I'm not seeking growth. It just means that I value my inner
Y-
peace and
Yeah.
my time away from technology. And so I have very clear boundaries around when I'm using it and how I'm using it. And I'm so grateful that I've reached a point where I can do that because I want to have longevity in my
Yes.
business. I don't want to burn out. I don't
Yes.
want to become to hate my business, which happens sometimes to people, right? They grow really fast and they get
And they
like,
love themselves. They love themselves
yeah,
because they
yes,
didn't do it for them. It happened
yes,
with so many of my
yeah,
clients. They reach, the famous seven figures, and
yeah,
they woke up one day and it was, who am
yeah.
I? Who
Who
am
am
I?
I?
And what am
Yeah,
I doing? It's like, no, it's not aligned with the person I
yes.
truly am. And it's like a wake up call. And it's like, okay, let's go back from scratch. And I even had a lady, she said, the only thing I want is returning to a 9 to 5 job. And I was, oh, that's painful. She reached over 1 million of euros. She was like one of the
Wow.
first in France creating reels, and she had like a real
Wow.
academy and so on.
Yeah,
And she burned herself. So and I love to share that when you're
yeah,
on the entrepreneurial journey, it's not a race.
yeah,
It's a marathon, but the
yeah,
marathon of your life. So
yeah,
you need to be able to last long time
yes,
enough for not
yes.
burning you out, because you didn't quit one job
Right.
to burn out on your business.
Yeah,
And that's why I was talking about the cage. You didn't left a cage, so one of your
yeah,
9 to 5 job, to put yourself in another cage because
yeah,
you are prisoner of what you need to do, who you need to be, and what you need to achieve. No,
yeah.
it need to be made in alignment with what you want for now, and it can
Yes.
evolve. And after, it's like you start to say, I want this and I want this and I want that, and after you are evolving and say, no, it's okay to shift, it's okay to
Yeah.
pivoting, and it's okay to refine and revise what you really want as long as it's aligned with you.
I love that. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Because that to me is what true happiness is. I'm most happy when I'm in alignment.
Yes.
Like, not when I'm chasing the little shiny object, not when, everybody's like commenting, you're amazing in my comment. Like, that doesn't give me happiness. I'm happiest and joyful when I'm in alignment, when I feel like this true sense of like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that can only come from within. And my connection again to spirit and my spiritual life. Like that's what it is. And that's why I protect that. And so if I feel like the work stuff or content creation or any of it, reading the comments is getting in the way, I reduce or eliminate and I audit. I'm always auditing what I'm doing and I'm very self-aware. And a practice that maybe your audience will find helpful is I journal. I
Yeah.
journal every night and it allows me, and then I read my old journals. Like I was reading one from 2020 about the beginning stages of where I was at. And it's really a great tool to build self-awareness because it's you having a conversation,
With you.
with yourself on paper and like you can't lie to yourself. Like
No.
it's clear. It's been such a powerful tool. It's something that I do almost nightly. And
Yeah.
I've
And
been
I
doing it
love
for
that
years.
you shared that because
Yeah.
like you shared, I find it so fascinating and interesting when you are journaling, especially on your early days. And it's like you gathering your emotion, your thoughts, your doubt. And after you look back, and I wish you all, success
Yeah.
in your way, it's like, oh my God, now what was maybe a mountain years ago is like a small rock today.
Yes.
And it's like, because I have new problems with maybe
Yeah.
difficulties.
Right. Right.
And it's so beautiful to see how you have grown all along the journey,
Yeah.
that you're not the same person. And especially when we are looking back to 2020, we were all
Yeah.
confined and it's such a different world from where we were to where we are today. And see the growth, see the evolution. It's like, that's life.
Yeah.
Life is evolving. Life is about season. It's about change. We are also changing. And when you can see the change, this is where you can also learn so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for me, like I'm happiest when I'm learning and I'm growing.
Mm,
And
yeah.
so I love being able to look back and see like, wow, look at that. I was so excited to just get one client and now I have it
So
just
many,
gives
yeah.
it gives me a lot of gratitude. So I love journaling.
Gratitude and also, take the time to celebrate because as you
Yes.
shared, initially it's like, oh my God, I have my first client. Oh my God, my second client.
Yeah.
Okay, I just sign up 10 client. It's like
Yeah.
the norm. No, don't stop celebrating because this is
Yes.
also creating momentum. And
Yes.
this is creating also on your body, and I'm sure that you know about it, chemistry. And
Yeah.
this chemistry is so important for you to not after get bored and say, oh
Mhm.
yeah, no, that's a new norm. No, always
Yeah.
keep this aliveness in a sense. And that lead perfectly, you shared that you have been creating like a business with your family.
Yeah.
And when we prepared this podcast, you shared something powerful with me. I
Mm.
want to be a hope in human form. And
Mm.
for me, what legacy do you hope your life to leaves behind?
I love this question. It's so interesting. I'm going to just share this. This is just kind of random, but I found out today that a woman who used to attend one of my classes when I taught live in person back in Westchester in White Plains, New York, her obituary came up on my Facebook. Okay. And I read it and she was such a beautiful light. And I actually screenshotted it because the way they described her is exactly to answer your question, the legacy. And it was like, I want to be light for people. Like her smile was light and she brought positive energy to every room and life that she touched. Like all of these beautiful things were said. And I want to live in such a way that when I actually pass to the other side,
Yeah.
that's how I'm remembered. So not about, how much money I made or like any of that
How
stuff. I
many
mean, that's
YouTuber
great.
followers
That's
you
so
have?
great. Yeah, like that's great and all, but really like how I made people feel. And if they were inspired and felt this sense of like, I could do it too. If they felt empowered and seen and acknowledged and just, lit up.
Yeah.
Like that's really what I want to do because I feel lit from within. And so I would feel really selfish to share that, to
Yeah.
not share it.
Yeah.
Right. I want to share it with people because I'm so grateful. And just one more thing on like practices that you can do. I do a gratitude list every day. I've been doing it for years, like a couple things in the morning, and I send it to two dear friends of mine. And it just sets me up. It's part of my spiritual routine. It sets me up to always be in that state of like what's important first and
Yeah.
being really set up in that energy of gratitude because people feed off my energy.
Yeah.
So journaling and gratitude lists, prayer, meditation, all of those things really set me up to have that like vibing at a high energy level. So I just wanted to share that too in case someone,
Yes,
they find
that's
that
so
helpful.
beautiful because it's something that we forget sometimes,
Yeah.
the basic things. And I
Yeah.
remember that when I started my gratitude, it was first, I have a roof, something as
Yeah.
basic, like
Yeah.
I'm breathing. It's not just about the materials. And most of the
Yeah.
time people are grateful for the material things, but it's not what matters. It's like
Yeah.
the fact that your heart is beating,
Yeah.
you feel it,
Yeah.
you're breathing. Well, for a year now, I cannot breathe, perfectly. I don't know. I have a nose issues. And it's like when I can breathe, normally
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, it
Yeah.
feels
So
so good.
grateful,
It's
right?
like,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that today I
Yeah.
was able to breathe normally, And
Yes.
it's so, for me, small things that really made the difference in
Totally.
the way you feel and the way you live. And the fact that, yeah, people get reminded you that you are the light, the one who light them up or change their life and had such an
Mm.
impact. It's so beautiful. And just to close now this podcast for
Yeah.
those women and maybe the men, because I know that sometimes they are listening to who feel stuck, in a version
Yeah.
of themselves that no longer fit. But it's like, I don't know what I could do or could not do. What
Mm.
would you say to them when they're stuck and it's like, what is my next step? What is my next level? What would you say to them? And what is maybe one thing they could do to begin and reclaim their path?
Mm. It's a big question. And I always err on the side of small things done
Mm,
consistently over time add up to huge transformation. So instead of making a big proclamation like, I'm going to change everything and I'm going to quit smoking and I'm going to drop 20 pounds, I'm going to leave the guy, the toxic relationship, like blah, 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 like all like the New Year's resolutions, right? In the US, we make
yes.
these like big
Mm,
proclamations. And I always coach women on take one thing,
yeah.
one little small change that is going to be the building block to other things, but you're going to have to do that one thing consistently over time so it becomes ingrained in you. And so for me, it was just stringing along a bunch of days of not drinking, right? And building that like self-trust of like, I'm not going to drink today. Just for today, I'm not going to drink. And then the next day, just for today, I'm not going to drink, right? So whatever habit is probably impacting you the most,
Yeah.
right? The thing that's maybe impacting your self loathing, like the thing that you really hate that you're doing, right? Maybe going to that first and seeing if you can string a couple days, but also ask for help
Yeah.
along the path, because trying to do that on your own is really, really challenging. So it's kind of like a twofold thing. Like it's not only like trying to stop this one behavior that's going to start building your self-esteem, but also, recruiting someone, whether it's just a
Yeah.
trusted friend or actually going to get a coach and a mentor or therapist or whoever to be a support along the way. But I can't say enough how important that is. Just building that self-trust
Yeah.
is the way to empowerment. Because once you start to see that you actually can do it, once I started to see that something that I thought I could never stop doing, now I can stop doing it. Like that was the gateway to all transformation for me, right? Because then I quit smoking, then I quit sugar, then I like just it evolved over the years, but I didn't do it all at once.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that has, like,
Oh,
and ask for help. So those are like the two, they kind of go together. But that would
yeah.
be my main suggestion is because to feel the empowerment, you have to start doing things that build that self-esteem, right? Do esteemable things. And so that would be my number one tip.
And I would say maybe that something that comes to me is also know that you have people you can model and
Yeah.
who have done it. Like you
Yes.
are one of these
Yeah.
examples.
Yeah.
So it's know that some people have done it, get inspired by them, by their
Yeah.
story, by the past, what happened to them, their mindset. They're going
Yeah.
to also help you. And I'm sure that if people are listening to you like every day, they
Yeah.
might shift things in their mindset, in their
Yes.
behavior. And it's like, okay, I know that she gave me also, we were talking about the legacy. She gave me
Yeah.
the power to believe in me too. And it come back to something also you shared. It's like your network. Make sure
Yeah.
that you have the right
Yeah.
network with you too.
Yeah.
And I think that
Yeah.
are the four things that one,
Yeah.
but we end with four.
Yeah, I mean it's a yeah, but those are really really
The
important things
basics
because
one,
your network
foundation.
can be your fuel or it can be your anchor, right? It can help you grow or it's going to keep you stuck. Like
Oh, true. Oh my
yeah.
God. Well, thank you so
Oh
much,
my God,
Lydia.
thank you.
And the last question is, how can
Yeah.
people just connect with you? If they want to connect with you, how can they find you? So we know we have Instagram, we
Yeah.
have YouTube. What
Yep.
are the best way to reach out to you?
There's many ways. Instagram is probably the quickest. So my
Okay.
Instagram is lydia.magnoli. That's my handle. YouTube for sure. I have a whole channel and it's just my name. You search it. I'm also on TikTok. It's just my name, Lydia Magnoli. On Facebook as well, it's Lydia Magnoli. So you can search my name. You can Google me too. And I have a website and an app, a fitness app.
Okay,
So
I will
yeah,
put all the link that way if
thank
people want
you.
to reach out to you, they can find you. But if there is
Awesome.
one easiest way, I understand it's Instagram.
Yeah.
They can reach out to you
Yeah.
directly. Oh my
This
God.
is such a pleasure. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Thank
much.
you so much. It has been really a pleasure to me to welcome you in the podcast.
Thank you.
I hope you're taking a deep breath with me right now because this conversation with Lydia was not just about the outer journey. It was about reclaiming your inner power. It's a quiet decision to not let your past define you, to be done with performing, to stop waiting and start living. Lydia reminded us that discipline is not punishment, it's devotion. That alignment is not reserved for the few, it's available for the ones who are willing to walk through discomfort to meet themselves. So here's what I want to leave you with. Where in your life are you choosing safety over freedom? Where are you still waiting for permission to be who you truly are? And what if your story, the one you're still healing, is the very thing that makes you a guide for others? And if this episode moved you, please share it with someone you love. Tag me, tag Lydia, let us know what landed. And don't forget, you can also subscribe and get access to the next episode. And if you're ready for your next step, your own version of I'm Possible, I invite you to join my next live experience. The link is in the notes. And until next time, stay true, stay aligned, and keep evolving.